Today I'm at Patriots Point, which is in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, just north of Charleston, across the Ravenel Bridge, which crosses the Cooper River from downtown Charleston. Patriot Point is a park that includes the USS Yorktown aircraft carrier, as well as a destroyer, the Laffey. It used to have a submarine, but something must have happened there. On this ramp walking out to the ship, you can see a ferry to the right that is taking people on tours of Fort Sumter. You can check out one of my other videos for a Fort Sumter tour, though I actually took the tour from the peninsula of Charleston as opposed to this alternative location at Patriots Point Park. You do have to pay to get into this park, but it's pretty inexpensive. There's ample parking. Helicopter rides, as you can see up ahead, are available. Historic downtown Charleston is a peninsula situated between the Ashley River to the west and the Cooper River to the east. This is the Cooper River. You can see the Ravenel Bridge off to the right. These two rivers join to form the Bay of Charleston, and near the entrance to the bay is where Fort Sumter sits. While this aircraft carrier is certainly a large ship, this was used during the Vietnam era and before, and the modern aircraft carriers in use today are significantly larger. For example, the Yorktown seen here is 888 feet long, while Nimitz-class modern carriers are in the 1,000 to 1,200 foot length range. This is a destroyer. Many of these accompany aircraft carriers and also hunt submarines. Inside this gun turret, they actually have an audio-visual experience. That's what these people are waiting in line to go see. This is another audio-visual experience inside the Combat Information Center. I'll let you watch a little bit of this.
Welcome to the Combat Information Center, the nerve center of the ship and where all the action is. I'm Lieutenant Miller, and today we are monitoring activity out here in the Mediterranean. With the Cold War, there's plenty of activity, particularly with the Russians. At present, we're tracking a Russian Tu-95 reconnaissance aircraft, also known as Bear, on our air search radar behind me. His coordinates are then manually tracked on the main plot board here. Soviet reconnaissance aircraft have been buzzing the fleet for days, and it looks like any minute that Bear will be flying right over us. Over the last several years, the Soviets' presence here has steadily grown. There he goes. Yeah, they love to photograph him. Now where you entered is the SV-4 radar tech, and he keeps track of the surface ships around us. Until a contact is identified, it's designated a skunk. And there are a lot of skunks out there, both warships and merchant ships. The text on the SVAA radars directly in front of me track and monitor both air and surface activity, while those two plotting tables there track our position along with the other vessels. A pair of F-4 Phantoms from Saratoga. They're on their way to escort that Russian mayor out of the air. Currently, we're in Battle Condition 3 ASW. That's anti-submarine warfare. And we're in a search pattern investigating a possible subcontact made by one of our sonar buoys. If there's anything down there, our sonar techs over there will find it.
Sonar contact. Bearing 036. Range 11,000 yards.
Sounds like he has something.
Bridge combat. Sonar contact 036. Range 11,000.
Sonar contact 036. 11,000. Bridge.
All hands, man to battle station. This is not a drill.
this has quickly turned into a very serious, high-risk situation. It appears sonar has pinged a sub about 6 miles off our starboard bow, way too close for comfort. And if it's a Soviet sub, that puts us in the range of his torpedoes. Just in case, our Mark V targeting director is connected to sonar and has automatically plotted a firing solution to the target.
So this is the hangar deck just under the flight deck. This has been turned into an air museum showing various aircraft associated with aircraft carriers from World War II up until at least the Vietnam era. There's plenty of room, or so it seems, though I imagine in actual combat-ready aircraft carriers it's a lot more crowded with aircraft, as well as crew arming the aircraft. This is an Avenger, and you can see there's a torpedo underneath the fuselage. This Gemini and Apollo capsule look like these are replicas made after the fact. That looks like a Boeing Stearman biplane overhead. This is at the back of the ship, underneath the edge of the flight deck where the aircraft arrive. A nice view of the Patriots Point Arena, looking back over the Cooper River at the Charleston Peninsula across the way. You can barely make out a Carnival cruise ship over there. So this is up on the flight deck, next to the bridge tower to the right. An aircraft painted in the colors of the Blue Angels. But I don't think this one's going to fly. I noticed the engines were both missing. That's a fairly famous aircraft towards the end of the deck. It's an F-4 Phantom, which gained most of its fame during the Vietnam War. You can see the carrier tail hook there. I never really realized how narrow this bridge area is, because they need to give the maximum space available for the wingspan of the aircraft operating on the carrier deck. As you may know, these helicopters are an important part of the team during launching and recovering aircraft. Accidents are not extremely rare, so the helicopter stands off the deck in the air ready to pick up any pilots that wind up in the water. That domed aircraft is for radar, air traffic control in the combat area. There are also aircraft designed to deliver non-pilots and other crew often on the ship, as well as to bring in supplies and mail, etc. In case you haven't guessed, I recorded this video using the Insta360 X4 camera on the end of a selfie stick, which lets you get views that are not otherwise attainable. And what would an aircraft carrier be without an F-14 Tomcat available? Where's Tom Cruise? An active flight deck of an aircraft carrier is a fairly dangerous place to be during aircraft operations. If you look for them, you can find videos of people getting sucked into these engines because they were so familiar with the noise, they got too close, and next thing you know, they just didn't look the same coming out the other end of the engine. So that's the end of today's tour. I didn't record inside the ship. You can spend several hours going through the various decks. It was about 90 degrees outside and not all the spaces are air conditioned, so take that into account as you choose a day to visit this. Certainly when you have the time, it's interesting to see the different levels of the ship that operates more or less like a city. It has a crew of about 3,500 people. The dental clinic had 5 dental chairs to give you an idea of how large the ship is. Large dining areas were available. There's of course a hospital, and this acts as a hospital for other ships that are smaller and less equipped in case someone needed surgery. They would typically be sent to the aircraft carrier to have this done. And again, this is Patriots Point Park in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, just north of Charleston, just across the bridge from Charleston, really. If you enjoyed the video, share with your friends on your social media, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below if you like. Until next time, see you later.